When was the last time you truly looked at yourself in the mirror? Not just to check your appearance, but to ask the deeper question, am I really living the life I want? Not the life that others expect of you, not the life that seems acceptable in the eyes of society, but the life that feels aligned with your soul. Carl Jung, one of the most influential voices in modern psychology, left us with a truth that few dare to embrace: the importance of choosing yourself, even when the entire world seems to nudge you in the opposite direction. We live in a world designed to distract us. From the moment we wake up, we're pulled in countless directions by responsibilities, social expectations, and endless noise. We're expected to show up, to perform, to check every box laid out by a system we never fully chose. But here's something rarely said out loud. Every time you choose others over yourself, you send a quiet message to your inner being that your truth, your desires, and your peace don't matter. That internal whisper, the one that gently nudges you when something feels off, is your soul's way of guiding you. And most people ignore it. Jung believed that our connection to the unconscious, the deeper part of ourselves, is not a luxury, it's essential. Yet so many of us mute that voice, bury it under layers of duty and fear, because acknowledging it means facing uncomfortable truths. That feeling you get when you sense something isn't quite right, that's not random, that's not anxiety, that is your soul speaking. But what do we usually do? We silence it. We smile through discomfort. We call it adulthood or being responsible. Now take a moment, reflect. How many of your recent choices came from a place of true authenticity? And how many were driven by fear? Fear of letting someone down. Fear of stepping out of line. Fear of facing the unknown. Jung understood something powerful. When your decisions are not rooted in your truth, they create internal chaos. The more you stray from who you are, the more disconnected, and eventually, the more lost you become. But let's be clear, choosing yourself doesn't mean rejecting others. It doesn't mean becoming selfish or turning your back on people. It means recognizing this simple but vital truth. To offer the best of yourself to the world, you must first be at peace with yourself. That's what self-love truly is, not self-indulgence, not running from responsibilities, but becoming someone who gives from a place of fullness, not emptiness. When you make yourself a priority, something shifts. Your energy changes. You begin attracting people and experiences that feel aligned. You stop forcing things to work. It's like the universe finally sees you because you've finally seen yourself. But to reach this place, you have to do something difficult. You must face your shadow. The shadow, as Jung described it, is the part of us we hide. The anger we suppress, the sadness we avoid, the truths we don't want to admit. Facing your shadow is not easy. It's messy, it's raw, it's emotional. But it's also the start of something beautiful, true transformation. When you accept what you've been afraid to look at, something unlocks. Power, clarity, a sense of calm you've never known before. You begin to say no to what drains you, and yes to what feels real, without guilt, without apology, without fear of what others might think. And the most powerful gift you receive? The freedom to be who you really are. Now you might be asking, where do I even begin? Start small. Start by listening. Whenever you feel uneasy or overwhelmed, pause. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What truth am I avoiding? Because, as Jung once said, the answers you seek externally are already within you. You just need the courage to hear them and the strength to follow. Some of the hardest decisions you'll ever make involve listening to that inner voice. Maybe it's walking away from a relationship that no longer nurtures you. Maybe it's leaving a job that drains you. Or maybe it's giving up a dream that never truly belonged to you. Letting go can feel like loss, but holding on to things that no longer serve you, that's the real loss. That's the slow erosion of your peace. Choosing yourself means letting go, not with bitterness, but with clarity. Not in anger, but in love. We often cling to the familiar. We tell ourselves, it's not that bad. Or, better the devil you know. But Jung challenges us to see it differently. Change is not an end. It is a doorway to a more authentic version of yourself. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to out of fear? What habits, relationships, or beliefs no longer reflect who you're becoming? You don't have to have all the answers today, but you do have to be honest. That's where healing begins. That's where alignment begins. And that's when the magic starts to unfold. Because when you finally choose yourself, not just once but again and again, your life begins to transform in quiet but powerful ways. People who drained you will drift away. Situations that once felt heavy will no longer stick. And those who truly see you will remain. Not because they need you, but because they value you exactly as you are. Jung called this synchronicity, the beautiful dance between your inner world and the outer one. When you choose authenticity, the world around you shifts to reflect that truth. But that transformation requires something rare, radical honesty. It requires you to acknowledge where you've betrayed your own needs, where you've said yes when your soul screamed no. This isn't about guilt, it's about reclaiming your power. Authenticity is not a destination, it's a daily decision, a practice, a journey of becoming. And yes, it will be hard. There will be moments of doubt, times when you want to go back. Old patterns will call to you, softly at first, then louder. But remember this: true growth never happens in your comfort zone. The world may not understand your decision to choose yourself. Some will question you, some will walk away, but that's okay, because the ones who matter will stay, and in their presence you'll feel safe, because they'll be reflecting back the love you first gave to yourself. So here's the question only you can answer. Are you ready to choose yourself, not just in the big, dramatic ways, but in the quiet, everyday moments, with every boundary you set, every time you listen instead of ignore, every time you honor your truth, even when it's inconvenient? Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. And it's the most profound gift you can ever give to yourself and to the world. And so, what happens next when you finally choose yourself? It begins with a shift, a quiet but powerful declaration to the universe. I am ready to live my truth. And the universe responds. Suddenly, you start noticing things change. The right people enter your life. People who see you for who you truly are. Opportunities begin to appear, ones that feel aligned, not forced. It's as if life, in its own mysterious way, starts flowing with you instead of against you. This doesn't mean that life becomes free of challenges, but something is different now. Those challenges no longer feel like endless battles. They become lessons, stepping stones toward a higher version of yourself. Carl Jung described this experience as synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. They are not accidents. They are signs that your inner world and the outer world are finally in harmony. You find yourself walking through doors you once thought were locked. The things that once felt so far away now come within reach. Not because life has magically changed, but because you have. But here's the truth most people don't tell you. Choosing yourself will be tested. The moment you decide to break old patterns, the world may push back. It will ask, are you sure? and you will feel the pressure to go back to who you were, to make others comfortable again. This is where your strength is forged. Each time you say yes to your inner peace, even when it's uncomfortable. Each time you stay true to yourself in the face of doubt, you become stronger, more grounded, more you. Yes, fear will come. Leaving the familiar always brings uncertainty, but staying in places that no longer bring you joy, that's the real loss. Jung once said, "There is no change without resistance." So, if you feel resistance, it means you are moving. You are evolving. You are transforming. To move forward, you must reflect deeply. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of life do I want to create? When you gain clarity on your values, your choices begin to align naturally. And as your alignment grows, so does your peace. It's also important to remember, though this path starts with you, you are never truly alone. The more you step into your authentic self, the more you attract people who are doing the same. You'll find souls who walk beside you, not because they need something from you, but because they see and accept you fully. These relationships won't demand that you change to fit in. They will embrace the real you, because they too have chosen truth over illusion. When this shift happens, something inside you changes forever. Life no longer feels like an endless struggle. Decisions become clear. You no longer feel at the mercy of circumstances. You start to feel steady, calm, centered. That peace, the one that cannot be taken away, is the reward for choosing yourself. And it doesn't stop with you. When you live from a place of truth, you inspire others to do the same. You show, without words, that it's possible to live with courage and purpose. Your life becomes a quiet revolution, an invitation for others to begin their own journey. So pause for a moment and imagine, what if you truly let go of everything that no longer serves you? What would happen if you released the relationships, the roles, the beliefs that no longer reflect your soul? Imagine the space you would create, the clarity, the lightness, the freedom. This isn't just a dream, it's possible. And it begins with the smallest of steps. It begins with the courage to say, I choose me. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're finally honoring your truth. And in doing so, you're creating a life that reflects who you really are, not who you were told to be. This is what Carl Jung wanted us to discover. That the greatest transformation happens not when we change the world around us, but when we finally remember who we've been all along. Everything you're searching for, it already lives inside you. This is your moment. A call to come home to yourself. A call to listen to your intuition, to embrace your truth, to start walking your path with confidence, grace, and courage. You are not here by accident. You are here because you're ready.